Welcome to Lesson 11. In this lesson, we're going to see a special application of logical operators that will enable us to make decisions that involve ranges. So let's get to it. So we'll keep it simple. Let's just create a number. Let's say x, and let's give it some value, 10. And for some reason, we might decide that we need to check to see that 10's between a certain range of values. Let me just increase this one more, just make it a little easier since it's a short piece of code. So we can check for x to be, let's say, between 5 and 15. We can do that by using the AND operator. So we could check for x to be greater than what's considered the lower bound. So 5 was the lower end of our range. So we could do this. And we can check for x to be less than the upper bound, which is 15. So if you recall, the way the AND operator works is that both sides have to be true in our question, in our decision. So if x is greater than 5 and x is less than 15, then let's do something. So we'll keep it simple. We'll just say print OK. And we always like to give the user some message. So print not OK. Again, a silly example, but it's really just a matter of demonstrating how the AND operator can be used to test for a value within a range. So let's run it. And there we go. We got the value of OK because x is, 10 is greater than 5 and 10 is less than 15. Now I'm going to rewrite this another way because usually when you check for ranges in a math class, you might see it something like this. And I'm going to write it as a comment. You might see it like this. X is less than the variable, and then x is less than the other variable. That's how you would see it in a math class. So this is the way we would do it, and I'm going to rearrange the decision so it kind of looks a little closer to that. And think about what this says. X is greater than 5. Now if I rewrote it like this, it still says the same thing. You're saying that 5 is less than x. So the decision is still the same. The one benefit of writing it like this is that it looks a little closer to the way it's written in possibly a math class. So let's test it out again. And this time, let's go outside the range. Let's say 20. Not OK. Now, if you recall from past videos, I've always mentioned, run your program a couple of times on several different inputs. So we definitely test it for in the range. We'll test in the range again. So we can see when it's outside the upper bound, it says not OK. Let's see if we're in the bound, which 13 is. Print out OK. And now let's check the other end, 4. Not OK. So the if statement works. This is how you can check for a value to be within a range. Notice that you have to repeat the variable. It's not enough to simply say that 5 has to be less than x and less than 15. You can't do that. Now the reason I'm showing to you like this is that all other languages that I know of, that I've worked with, this is how you handle range. I am going to show you one more thing that's special about Python, but I don't want you to use it. Do not use this version I'm going to show you. You could do this, which when I learned it blew my mind because it directly resembles what you do in a math class. So let's not take my word on it. Let's actually test it out. So we're going to hit OK. Not OK. Let's check to see that we're in the range. So we'll test another number, 8. Hey, it's working so far. And now let's check outside the range. Cool. So this is something special to Python. This is the only language that I know of. There's many languages out there, but this is the only language I know that lets you do a decision like this. All the other languages you're going to work with at Bayside High School will not let you do this, such as JavaScript, Java, C Sharp. Again, these languages would have to be done the other way, which is to put the AND operator and then repeat the variable again. So I'm going to stick to this, and this is the way I want you to see it in your activity. Please don't do the shorthanded version I just showed you. Now, the last thing I want to add in here is you might see the word inclusive when it comes to specifying ranges. What inclusive means is, so let me show you this. The value 5, what do you think is going to print out? Is it going to print out okay or not okay? Again, look at our range. We're saying that x has to be greater than 5. All right, so let's run it. Let's see what happens. Okay, so it prints out not okay. That means that x with a value of 5 was not in our range. This is called something, this is called, actually I might as well just do it right here in this comment. Exclusive. Means you don't include the endpoints. If you want something to be inclusive, then we're going to put the equal sign here. So now we're going to check, and it should find that the 5 does equal, and it does say okay. Now, when you do inclusive, it doesn't have to be inclusive on both ends. It could be inclusive only on one end. So look for those words inclusive and exclusive. All right, so let's go back to our presentation. And in lesson 11, we reviewed how to do ranges to test the value in a decision. Thank you.